All right, let's get straight to it. 2012 Honda Accord. This is the 8th generation Honda. This is also the 2.4 vehicle. All right, so today we are changing the rear catalytic converter, also known as the lower catalytic converter. So this is the gasket here that goes on this 3-bolt flange, and there's 3 bolts. And this is the gasket here that goes on this 3-bolt flange, and here are the 3 bolts for that flange. All right, so I got my jack stand in place, and I have my jack, of course, and the vehicle is in the air, so I'm ready to start. All right, so once you are underneath the vehicle, then we can see our rear catalytic converter right here. So that's the rear of the vehicle here. So here's your upper catalytic converter here coming down, and this is your flex pipe right here. And right behind your flex pipe is the catalytic converter that we're going to change. So you can see there are 1, 2, 3 connections. There's one on top here to release this flange, and this back flange is the same. There are 1, 2, 3 bolts to remove this flange. So all these are just nuts on the other side. So the best way to get these off is to spray on the nut side here. So if you can see the threads, you can take a wire wheel and you can clean those off. See, mine isn't that bad. And then you can get some penetrating fluid and you can spray it behind the nuts here. And even if you want to, you can spray it here, but you really want to spray it here around the nuts on all of them, on all 6. And let that sit for about a good hour if you can. If you don't have the time, then you don't have the time. But if you do have the time, let it sit as long as you can, and then we can start to get some of these off. So all of the bolts that came with the replacement, with the new one, the bolts itself, the head is a 16 millimeter and the nuts are 14 millimeter, just so you know. Now the bolts that's on here, they seem to be all different sizes. Now we're not putting these back on, so but these seem to be all different sizes. So I'm gonna go ahead and start to remove them, and then we can go from there. And of course, the best way to remove it is to hold one side with the wrench, and you can then start to get the nut off. Otherwise, it may just spin. Okay, so we got these 3 nuts and bolts off pretty easily, and you can see that's loose right there now. So we just gotta get this side off. So like I said, there's 3 nuts and bolts on this side as well. So again, hold this side with the wrench and get that side off. We're gonna get all 3 of those off now. All right, so we got it out. You can see, so here's the old one right here, and there's a new one that we're getting ready to put in, nice and shiny. You can see that is nice and shiny. All right, so make sure you clean up this gasket surface here and the one on this side as well. And so for this side here, we have a regular gasket, which is this one here. And for this side up here, we have this circular gasket there. So let's get our circular gasket in here, and then we can put this up. And then while this is up, we can slide that gasket in second, and then we can get our bolts in. So let's just put this side up with the circle gasket and put our 3 bolts in. And make sure that the side with the 1 hole is pointed to the passenger side when getting this up. All right, so now that this side is all tightened down, we can slide this gasket in here, and then we'll get our 3 nuts and bolts and pull this together and tighten it up. All right, guys, so success. We have both sides tightened down now. We have our circular gasket right in there, and we have our flat gasket right in here. So everything is good. That is pretty much it. That is how you change your rear catalytic converter on this vehicle.